Welcome back to Wegs Garage. Today we're going to be putting some fresh fuel lines in our 1964 Triumph TR4. So we'll be doing quite a bit of work up here by the carburetors. We're also going to be doing some work under the car, which we're going to see what kind of YouTube that makes. But without further ado, cue the music. Not that one. Yeah. Alright, so step one, we're going to be taking some of these old lines off. They're not in terrible shape, but we're just going to start over fresh there, and then the metal lines under the car aren't in the best condition, so we'll take those out and use them as templates to bend some new metal lines. Alright, so all our old fuel lines are out. You can kind of see why we wanted to replace it. It's pretty kinked and crushed in a few spots. There's some, you know, really old fuel line there. That's fun. But otherwise we have this tubing bender. It does appear to be pretty worthless on this steel line, so really kinks the tube. So we're not going to be able to use that. Unfortunately, we don't have anything better, so we're trying it by hand. Not sure if this is a tip or not, but if you got an old water pump pulley laying around, it's really great for bending.
Mark got steel fuel line 5/16 to run new fuel line from the tank up to the fuel pump. Now here's a trick. This stuff is stiff, and when it comes time to enroll it, this is what we do in HVAC with refrigeration line sets. Takes a lot of the pain out of it. Take it, put it on the floor, stick your foot on it, and unroll it. And it ends up pretty straight.
Alright, so we got this kind of pipe that goes over the rear axle completed. So that's looking pretty good. I wanted to just take a second here and look at some fittings, because a lot of the fittings for the TR4 fuel system aren't really listed in any of the catalogs. So first thing you should know is everything on the TR4 fuel system is half 20, and they're a compression fitting, so you're going to need some of these compression sleeves, ferrules, whatever you want to call them, for whatever size tube you're using. And then it's kind of weird because they actually use like a flare fitting with the compression fitting. So even though it's a compression fitting, it's not an actual compression fitting with the threads on it. This is actually a flare fitting. Now with that said, if you do look in at the catalog houses, there is this tube nut available from Moss Motors. I think you can read the part numbers there. It says it's for a TR6, but it is exactly the same as what came off of our TR4. So there you go. If you're looking for this fuel fitting that goes up into the tank, which is not available, this would be your part number right here. Or you can use a flare fitting. Alright, so under the car here, we got our first hard fuel line in. Up here is where it comes out of the fuel tank. That's nice and tight. Comes around, goes over the rear axle, and then meets up with the other pipe and is connected with a little piece of hose to that up front there. We must have done a pretty good job bending our pipe because it actually fit in the clamp location back there. So, pat ourselves on the back for that one. Alright, moving on. Alright, so since we don't have a very good bender today, we're going to hold off on bending this very complicated piece here. But here in the engine compartment, we can replace all of our rubber hoses here. Make sure all these coming out of the fuel pump are good. This one looks pretty nice. I'm not sure if this is where the fuel line ran originally, but I think it looks pretty good. It looks like a decent route, so I think we're just gonna stick with that and put some new rubber hoses over here, and then we should be good. Alright, so we got our new line here from the fuel inlet from the other pipe that we aren't bending today up to the fuel pump inlet, and then we again reuse the old line for coming out of the fuel pump. That comes around here, and we got some new rubber lines going to our carburetors. So that's looking really good. We use these really nice Jegs fuel injection hose clamps. They got a little screw on them. Most Triumph owners know these actually had no hose clamps on them from the factory, which is really sounds like a terrible idea. So we put these on to try and secure that a little bit better. Alright, well this has been Wegs Garage. Hold on a second. Today we got our fuel lines pretty much squared away, and yeah, it's a pretty good day. It wasn't good at all, but we got beer, so that's great. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'll see you next time.